watching the Bulldog Brewhouse podcast.
Hey everybody, it's Steve Grover. We're down here at the Calgary Motorcycle Show for 2025. It is the last day of the show, February 2nd, and it's going to be closing pretty soon. So if you're not down here, get down here. I think the doors close at 5 p.m. today. It's been a great show for the last 2.5 days, and I've got a special guest here, Rob Thiessen. Rob, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Thanks
Nice
for
to
having
meet
me on
you.
the show.
Yeah, no worries. So I know who you are. I met you through a friend of mine, Colby, who's the GM of Kelowna Harley Davidson.
Yep.
So you can describe to my viewers who exactly Rob is.
Well, I'm a rep for Original Garage Moto, which is a Canadian hard parts manufacturer based out of Quebec City.
Okay.
I'm kind of the Western rep, and I do a lot of stuff for them in the U.S. So I'm based out of Kelowna, BC.
Okay.
Yep. So
Okay.
that's
So-
how I know Kobe.
So how's Kelowna now, right, the weather-wise?
Well, it's much warmer than it is here, and there's
Yeah.
no snow.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm looking forward to get home, actually.
Yeah, because, I mean, we hit it pretty hard today. It's minus 25 out when I left my house to come down the show, and obviously it's probably warmer in Kelowna than here.
It is. When I got here on Wednesday, because I drove in Wednesday, it was
Yeah.
plus 10,
Yeah.
and people were riding their motorcycles into
Oh,
the
yeah.
show, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is not the case anymore.
Okay. So
we need a Chinook.
Exactly. Well, we need some cold weather. I don't know. We've had some good weather, dry roads, plus 10 or so for the last 2 weeks. So, I'm from Calgary originally, so we need some more snow for the ski hills. But where are you originally from?
Actually, originally from Kelowna, and then
Okay.
I was in music, got a music career before, so I moved to Los Angeles.
Okay.
Then Vancouver. After the music thing kind of ended, I started working at the local Harley dealer, Trev Dealey's in Vancouver, and that was
Yeah.
about 20 years ago, and
Okay.
worked my way up through there.
Okay.
And then I started my own shop, and
Yeah.
then started getting involved heavily into the aftermarket.
Okay.
Last couple of years, I've been repping Legend Suspensions, which is American-made suspension company from Sturgis, South Dakota.
Okay.
Really quality company, and I still represent them as a brand ambassador,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Full-time gig with OG now.
So what does Original Motor do? Like
Original
do you
Garage
need some
Moto.
Stuff? Yeah.
Original Garage Moto. So we basically make hard parts for Harley Davidson. So billet hard parts like triple trees, floorboards, risers, handlebars, pretty much brake mounts, everything you can think of. We do a bunch of lighting, some carbon fiber products.
Yeah.
We have 11 different finishes.
Yeah.
So anodized finishes, gold plating, black chrome.
Yeah.
So there's lots of options.
Okay, and it's called OG, hey?
OG, Original Garage Moto.
Not Original Gangsta?
No.
Okay, not in Compton.
That's a different thing.
Yeah, I know. And then you're in LA for a while. Where were we living in LA?
Right in Hollywood, actually,
Okay.
kind of around
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I've been down Hollywood. I've stayed at there's a Renaissance Hotel on West Hollywood.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I've stayed there, so I'm familiar with Hollywood, LA. And how'd
Nice.
you like living in LA?
Oh, it was fun, definitely. I still got lots of friends there, so I try and get down there every winter.
Uh-huh.
Go ride, trailer my bike down there and go ride around for a couple of weeks. There's great riding around there. So
Okay, and then you moved back to BC, and
Yep.
then you got in Original Garage. And where is your shop located in Kelowna exactly?
our where we make all our parts and our warehouse and everything is in Quebec City. So
Okay.
all our parts, it's a Canadian company. Everything ships out of Canada. I just happen to just live in Kelowna.
Okay,
So,
all right.
but we have dealers all over Canada.
Okay.
Like Kelowna Harley's one of our dealers.
Yeah.
Calgary Harley's one of our dealers.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, and do you do specialized parts? Like if someone wants something in particular, or is it just...
We can.
Yeah.
It's a longer process because our production's really ramped up and we offer like a really wide variety of products.
Okay.
We actually still do a hard parts catalog that we just released the 2025 catalog. So we're giving that to all our dealers,
Okay.
and it's nice for people to be able to actually open up something and flip the pages and
Yeah.
look at the parts in color. Not too many people do that anymore. It's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
online. So.
Yeah.
So we're kind of trying to.
Sort of gives me a flashback to the Sears catalog that my parents used to get growing up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
why do you do a catalog? Because everyone's online nowadays, pretty much, and
Well,
everyone's not into paper anymore.
We do have online too, but I just
Yeah.
think it's really cool. Like, people are coming around the show right now, and people that haven't heard us, we can just hand them a catalog, and
Okay.
instead of like a card with a website on it where they have to go home, they can actually
Yeah.
look at the catalog, right there, or when they
Okay.
get home.
Yeah.
And I think it just resonates with them a little bit more. So
Okay. And then you just do parts for Harley Davidson, eh?
Harley, and then we have a couple of Indian fitments.
Okay.
So like for the Challenger floorboards and some Scout stuff. So there's definitely not a big market. Harley Davidson owners tend to customize their bikes more than any other motorcycle brand.
Yeah.
That's why there's such a huge aftermarket for Harley Davidson.
Okay. So how did Original Garage start? Like,
there's two owners, Sam and AP. They both have engineering degrees, and they started the company basically in their garage.
Okay.
This year is going to be the 10th anniversary of the birth of the idea of OG.
Yeah.
And the company's exploded over the last couple of years. We went from 4 employees to 16 in the last 2 years. So it's,
Okay.
And we have a race team as well.
Oh, really?
So we compete
Okay.
in the Bagger Racing League,
Yeah.
which is a drag specialties show racing league that bunch of different brands like Alloy Art and Fueling, Saddlemen. They have teams in the series. So we were pretty successful last year. We finished second in the Bagger GP class, which is the top class. So Fueling beat us out, and we won the Can-Am belt, which is the first time they ever had. It was basically Canada against the U.S., kind of like what's going on in the trade war right now.
The tariffs going back between Trump and Trudeau right now.
Yeah, but this was just more friendly on the track at Mossport, and we came out victorious in that. So we got a belt and everything.
Okay.
So we're going to defend our belt this August. It's part of the CSBK. So it was pretty cool to do that.
Okay. And so the company's originally from Quebec?
Yes.
Okay.
We're based out of Quebec City.
Okay. And they're all based. So have you been to Quebec City?
I have been there, yes.
And is it beautiful? Like
it is. The only time I've been there in the winter, but like the actual downtown, which is all the historic area, the old fort and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the oldest city in North America.
Oh, is it?
And,
really?
Yeah, and they have.
Oh, wow.
The heritage that is there is really cool, and also like the culture. They're all about having fun and good food. Like there's really good restaurants there and everything. So Quebec's definitely. If people haven't been there, it's definitely a cool place to visit.
Yeah, I've been to Montreal, and then I grew up here in Alberta, and there's always been the rivalry between Quebec and Alberta. Quebec wants to separate, and Alberta wants separation.
Yeah.
It's politics, and we're all Canadians at the end of the day.
And the other part of it is the Flames and the Habs used to have a pretty big rivalry back in the day. Went to the Stanley Cup twice. They beat us once, and we beat them once. And when I say we, I'm a Calgary Flames fan, so full disclosure.
So I noticed there's a vendor here wearing the Fremont Harley Davidson Quebec, Canada. Is that in Quebec City?
Fremont, yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so there's actually 2 Fremonts. There's one in Laval, which is Montreal, and then there's one in Quebec City.
Okay.
So and they're a title sponsor of our race team.
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
When we needed a bike to build a race bike out of, we went to them and got a 22 Road Glide and then went to town on it.
Okay. And then, obviously, have you been to Quebec during the Carnival, the Winter Carnival?
I have not.
Okay.
But that sounds like
maybe
fun,
one
too.
Day. Yeah, my wife wants to go to Quebec City, and so maybe one day we'll do a trip out there and stay at the nice, I think it's the, what's it owned now? Alcor owns it. There's been a change of ownership.
The hotel that's right downtown there? Yeah.
It used to be a Fairmont, and I think a French company bought it now.
It was the Chateau Fairmont or something like that. Yeah, that's the place to stay.
Okay. So probably majority of your business is with Harley Davidson bikes, correct?
Yeah.
And is there a certain part that you guys sell a lot, like floorboards or trees?
Our tree kits and risers is probably one of our biggest sellers. We also do the crash bars, we hand make and hand weld our own crash bars, and they're super strong.
Okay.
And we do front and rear, so they really protect your bike if you go down, or if you do get, hit by a car or something like that. Hopefully not, but if you do, that's just a lot of extra protection there.
Okay.
So.
And is there a certain model of the Harley that you do a lot of accessories for?
We basically make accessories for everything, right? Sportster, Dyna, FXR.
Okay.
I would say the M8 Softails, which is the 2018 and up Softails, and then the touring bikes like the Road Glide and the Street Glide is probably our biggest. That's our biggest market, and that's Harley's biggest market too, right? So
yeah, especially now. I think I think for every, I mean, I think it's 80% sales for Road Glide opposed to Street Glide now with the new.
It is, and
models.
I'm old enough to remember when the Street Glide was, you go to Sturgis and it was all Street Glides, and you know, you go to you know, you go there now and it's all Road Glides. It's pretty cool. So
what's been the shift? Do you know anything about the culture, why people have gone to Road Glide opposed to Street Glide?
The reason is that the Road Glide is just a better handling bike because you don't have you have less weight on the, you know, it's not it's a fixed mounted bearing instead of a triple tree mounted bearing. So on a Street Glide, you can get a lot more buffeting from side to side from like a big truck that goes by, or just at high speeds. They're not as stable as a Road Glide. A Road Glide cuts through the wind more. I find they corner nicer.
The Road Glide?
Yeah. So and I've ridden, you know, I've owned 3 Road Glides, and that's my current bike is a 24 CVO Road Glide. I think people are, you know, the whole performance part of the Harley Davidson thing is a huge thing right now. It has been for the last 10 years. A lot of the newer riders are coming off dirt bikes and stuff like that. And that performance and handling is very important to them. So they just resonate more with a Street Glide. Or, you know, like the Softail Lowrider ST is like a really popular bike because it's like a mini Road Glide in a way.
And that's what I have at home. I have the El Diablo.
Nice. That's a beautiful bike.
I know, and I look at it in my garage and I ride it and I think I should sell it and buy another bike, and then I talk to someone at Harley and they say, you got that bike, dude, keep it. Don't sell it.
If you ever sell that, I need to be your first call.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I love that paint job on that bike. I think they knocked it out of the park with that paint job. I like the tobacco fade they did last year too. But it's not as nice as the El Diablo.
No, Kobe had called. He had me in speed dial in Calgary. And he had tobacco fade, and I almost bought another tobacco fade lowrider ST. And then I ended up buying a different bike, a different model, make, and then I end up just keeping the El Diablo. Yeah. It's a nice bike.
What number is it? Do you know?
119.
Okay.
Out of 1500. Yeah. So it's an icon bike, and it's pretty sweet. It looks amazing. The paint job, I agree with that, and it rides good. I mean, I'm happy with it.
Yeah,
it's got a 117 in it. I haven't done any work at all, and like, give me your opinion, okay? So I've got a couple bikes that I collect. Like over here, we've got that Street Fighter Lamborghini. That just keeps them going up in value. That's a limited bike. Regarding the El Diablo, would you make any changes on it, or just keep it strictly factory if you ever want to sell it?
Well,
or does it really matter anymore?
I don't really, like, you know, my CVO is a 25th anniversary CVO. It's not super rare or anything. It's not a numbered bike, but, you know, some purist would think that what I've done to it, which has gone crazy on it, you know, swing arm wheels, you know, everything. You know, you shouldn't do that to a CVO, but I wanted to do it. It's my bike. I kept all the stock parts. If I ever want to sell that bike and somebody wants to put it back to stock, I don't know why they would, because it's way better now, but just in that case, you could put it back to stock. So a numbered bike like what you have, personally, I would want to make it my own and ride it and enjoy it. But I understand that, you know, there's also the allure of keeping it bone stock and the value there, right?
Well, like you say, you could always change the part, like change the pipe and keep the factory pipe.
Totally.
You just got to, I had that happen. I bought a Yamaha R1M last year, and I got the Acropovic pipe on it. But then I asked for the original pipe back, and they had
thrown it out.
I don't know if they kept it or they sold it.
Straight to metal recycling.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. So I guess you got to tell the dealer or the parts guy, like, keep the original parts for me because I want that pipe back.
Yeah, for sure.
But the El Diablo, it's a good bike. I'm infatuated with the Road Glide. Like, we have that Cherry bike over there. That's the Grover Law Firm. I don't know if you've seen that bike with Winston on the side. I mean, that's our go-to marketing bike we have for Grover Law Firm. And so, but I always look at the Road, like they have those new colors coming out. They have the new Haze Purple. That's a pretty cool bike.
I haven't seen. They've got the matte purple, and then they've got a gloss purple. I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them both in person yet because they're just starting to roll into the dealerships. But as soon as I saw that purple, I was like, oh man, I just finished a bike, but I think maybe I need to do another one. It's a disease. It's a sickness.
I know.
And you know, my wife is constantly reminding me that there are other things in life than motorcycles, but For me, motorcycles are my passion. It's what I do for a living. I'm lucky enough to be able to do that. So I don't really consider what I do work. It's when you're doing something you love, I don't think you're really working.
No. Yeah. So just out of curiosity, like we all have a story of how we got involved in motorcycling. My dad was a doctor and he loved motorcycling. He got me and my sisters involved. How did you get involved in the sport?
I got my first dirt bike when I was about 10 years old.
Yeah.
And all my buddies growing up had dirt bikes. And living in Kelowna was a much smaller city back then, and I could actually ride my dirt bike to high school.
Okay.
So I started with a KX80 and went to an RM125, and then just gradually, and I used to, the Popular Mechanics magazine, you'd see it with a Harley on the front sometimes, and I just always resonated towards Harley Davidsons. So
you never had the wish to go get a Kawasaki?
Well, the dirt bike side of thing, I like.
No,
I like a street bike. I basically went straight to Harley. I've never owned a street bike that wasn't a Harley.
Okay, so there's no infatuation now with CF Moto with you, the Chinese bikes coming overseas?
No, there's no infatuation there.
So what do you think, we're all worried about this tariff now between Trump and Trudeau. Trump hit us with 25%, Trudeau hit back yes with 25%. Is that going to hurt sales of Harleys in Canada, you think?
I would think on the short term, it's going to affect a lot of things, not just Harleys. I think it's bad for both countries.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that cooler heads prevail and somebody other, I don't know what the end game for Trump is, but I think it's just going to hurt both companies and both countries, and a lot of jobs are going to be lost, and it is going to make American-made products and Canadian-made products across the border unaffordable for people. So I'm hoping it's a short-term thing, and that we just got to weather the initial shock and awe thing, and that cooler heads will prevail, and we'll get back to something normal.
I mean, Trump does talk a lot of talk. You know that.
He really wants to stir the pot, and really, to me, that this would be a negotiating tactic to redo the NAFTA agreement. I think that's what the end game is. Even though he signed that in his last term. So
for OG, all the parts are made there. It's a Canadian company out of Quebec, correct? And where are the parts made, here in Canada or overseas?
We have machine shops. It depends on what part it is. We have machine shops in the
floorboard. Where the custom? Where does that mean?
That's made in Canada. Okay. We have our crash bars are all hand welded in Canada and everything. Okay. But we do have some of the anodizing stuff done overseas, because it's actually better quality than everywhere else, and it's more expensive. So just because you do something overseas doesn't mean that it's less quality. It could actually be more expensive. And then we have shops in the U.S. that we work with too. So this whole tariff thing is going to be we're going to have to jump through some hoops to kind of figure out what the tariffs all apply to HS codes for importing and exporting, and we have to figure out which HS codes we fall under.
Okay.
And we won't really know that until our lawyer kind of tells us
exactly.
what's going on.
You always need your lawyer to help you out.
We need a lawyer to help us out. Imagine that.
You guys don't. No one needs a lawyer, and they all hate lawyers until you need one, right?
My dad was a lawyer, so
okay, so you understand.
I totally understand. And if you don't have a lawyer around, to help with this kind of thing, you can't get that kind of information on the internet. Chat GTP is not going to tell you how to deal with import-export tariffs.
No. So at the end of the day, my dad always said you have to have a good doctor, you have to have a good accountant, a good dentist, and heaven forbid you always need a good lawyer in your
100%.
corner.
I couldn't agree more.
So how big is the market for OG in the U.S., percentage-wise compared to Canada?
It's a large part of our market, but we have dealers worldwide.
Okay.
Southeast Asia, like Thailand and stuff, is a huge market for us. There's a couple of dealers over there building crazy bikes, like Molecule MC and a couple other companies over there that are dealers of ours. I don't know if you've ever seen the road glides and stuff that are coming out of there. They're beautiful. And then we have a whole dealer network in Europe as well.
Okay.
We usually go over to the Motorbike Expo in Italy, but we didn't this year just because we were too busy doing this stuff. But it's a worldwide market for our parts. But the U.S. is a large part of it, and we're growing in the U.S.
Well, it's just a consumer culture, the
Yeah.
U.S. I mean, Canada's pretty bad. Like, Chinook Center is the #1 place to hang out in Calgary. I don't know if you know that.
No, but it doesn't surprise me.
If you need to meet anybody or find someone, you just go to Chinook, okay?
Okay.
What about Kelowna? What's it called? The Apple Mall or something in Highway 93?
It's called Orchard Park.
Orchard Park.
Yeah.
Is that a big hangout, or
Oh,
people
sure.
actually?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, people
Okay.
go there. Yeah, the parking lot's on a crappy, winter Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
There's no parking there,
Yeah,
and it's a
okay.
huge parking lot, so
Okay.
it's the same.
Yeah. And then regarding Thailand, because I see all these videos on Facebook and these cool road glides coming out. Have you been overseas at all, Thailand?
I haven't, but I definitely want to go over there. That's
Yeah.
kind of a plan.
Okay. But I find it weird because I've been to Thailand, and you always think of scooters and smaller bikes, and now they're bringing these big hogs over to Thailand. I just wonder how the roads are to ride those big bikes over there.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I know friends that have gone over there for a vacation and
Yeah.
been in a scooter accident, and
Yeah.
have scars, battle scars from their scooter trip to Thailand. So, I don't know if that'd be my first choice of if I was doing a bucket list riding trip. I don't think it'd be there. I think it'd be more like the Swiss Alps or something.
Yeah, I've ridden overseas, and I always remember Colombia. I was in Cali, and we did this big adventure on these big. I picked the wrong bike. I should have went with a smaller 800cc GS BMW.
Okay.
But I picked the 1250 GS Adventure.
Oh, yeah,
It's a big bike.
Yeah.
It was a big mistake. But then when you're in Colombia, everyone's riding these little scooters, and you come to a stop sign, and like everyone just swarms you, and they just all take off together. I don't know if you've ever dealt with that at all.
No, I haven't.
No control at all.
No, I went to a Formula One race in
Yeah.
Istanbul, Turkey
Oh,
one
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
And I drove a rental car around Istanbul, and that's
Yeah.
the craziest I've ever seen. And there's tons of scooters over there
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
and the odd Harley actually.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
odd Harley
Yeah.
Davidson.
Yeah. But there is, at the end of the day, I mean, is there a place you dream of riding a bike? Like, do you have a tour like you go like to oversee? Because there is a couple moto adventure companies or tour companies at this show.
I'm lucky enough to kind of travel North America for what I do for work, and
Yeah.
riding like the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. That's
Yeah,
some of
yeah.
the best riding I've ever done. And we do the Smoky Mountain Rally every year,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
in Knoxville. And then riding
Have you done
like
the Tail of the Dragon?
oh yeah, lots.
Is
And
there a
it's-
lot of wipeouts there? People wipe out or no? Or is it just a myth?
No, there is a lot of wipeouts
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. You got it. It's a probably the most technical road I've ever ridden. You got to
Okay.
trail brake a lot. So
Yeah,
if you don't know how to use your rear brake and
Yeah.
trail into a corner and
Oh, yeah.
throttle and rear brake at the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
time, you're going to learn pretty quick there.
Okay.
But even on the performance bikes, and then
Mm-hmm.
stuff like the Blue Ridge Parkway and stuff like that through Virginia and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
beautiful country, and there's
Yeah.
so much heritage down there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I really like riding in the United States.
Yeah.
Like Beartooth Pass, which is
Yeah.
kind of not too far from where I am in Kelowna.
Yeah.
Every year I ride to Sturgis
Okay.
on a different bike,
Okay.
and I always take 3 days to ride there. I usually do it by myself because
Okay.
I just kind of like being able to stop and do whatever I want,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And it's always an adventure, and I always pick a different route.
Okay.
So it's a real fun part of going to Sturgis every year.
Okay.
So
And so, yeah, our firm is giving away a trip for two, all expenses paid to Sturgis this year.
awesome.
So you should probably enter.
I should.
But you're going to be staying in Deadwood at a nice hotel. I'm
I
not
love
camping.
Deadwood. I
Yeah,
love Deadwood.
So
Yeah.
what do you recommend doing in Deadwood when we go there? Well, hopefully you win so you can come along with me and my marketing team.
That'd be amazing. So, so V-Twin Visionary, who I also partner with and
Yeah.
do some Canadian content for them, they're sponsored by Harley Davidson. So they have at the square. There's a can't remember what the square is called. Outlaw Square, maybe. I think it's called Outlaw Square, which is at the center of Deadwood. And it's a stage, and we do a couple of shows there.
Okay.
So it's it's sponsored by Harley Davidson. That's
Okay.
a really good time.
Yeah.
There's some good restaurants up there and stuff too.
Yeah,
and
there's some steakhouses there. I've been checking out on the internet in Deadwood.
there's some really good ones.
Yeah.
And if you go just up from Deadwood is Lead,
Mm-hmm.
and you can take that Spearfish Canyon down to
Yeah, I heard of
Spearfish,
that,
and
yeah.
there's great restaurants in Spearfish.
Okay.
And Spearfish Canyon's one of the best roads to ride. You just got to do it early in the morning
Yeah.
or later in the evening if you're
Yeah.
going to be at Sturgis, because during the day it's pretty much packed with people, and half of them have never seen a corner before.
Oh,
So
okay.
you get behind a pack of people that
Yeah.
just don't understand cornering on
Yeah,
a
yeah.
motorcycle, and
Yeah.
it could be painful.
Okay.
So,
And then, is there anything you recommend, we do? Because I'm going to go down with my marketing manager, and then 2 people can come along for free.
Okay.
Is there anything in particular that we should do in Sturgis or Deadwood during that? Because we're going to go from August 3rd to August 10th. That's probably more than enough time a week, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely want to do like Needles Highway and stuff, which where you go through the cave and you can see Mount Rushmore and all that.
Yeah.
That's kind of a touristy ride, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
And again, do that in the morning, or early morning, or in the evening.
Yeah.
As far as Sturgis itself, just seeing the spectacle of downtown Sturgis is pretty fun.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Chip.
Yeah.
So the Buffalo Chip is the big campground.
Oh, yeah.
They have a bunch of shows out there.
Yeah.
We'll be sponsoring the first all-female stunt show there.
Is that Dela Cruz?
That's Dela Cruz.
Yeah,
Krista's working on that. I'm sure you know Krista, right? So,
yeah.
So she's working on that, and so we'll be sponsoring that. So we'll be set up there for sure. So that's something that I would suggest keeping an eye on for sure, because that's going to be fun.
Yeah, because we're working with Vanishing Ones. We're sponsoring them this year for 2020. So I think Nick and the boys will be down there too.
I think they will too. I'm actually going to do the Kelowna stop with them at Kelowna Harley, and I play in a band too. So we're gonna play at that. Colby's hired us to do an afternoon show in the parking lot. So.
Oh, okay, cool. So what do you play for music?
This band is called Banged Up. It's like a kind of a SoCal punk rock kind of band.
Okay.
So, and I sing and play bass in that band, and then we have another singer, so we kind of trade off.
Well, that's kind of cool because my wife, she's a singer.
Oh, nice.
And she's a jazz singer, and she got a grant from the Alberta government to do an album.
Oh, nice.
So she did like this small 3-song album, which is pretty cool, and then she plays at some little jazz bars here in Calgary. It doesn't make much money, like $500 a gig, but she loves it.
That's not bad at all, especially if you're one person.
Really?
Yeah.
So maybe make her into an industry?
Yeah.
Maybe Grover Law Firm should sponsor her?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah. And how did you get into music?
That was just something I had a passion for since I was really young. So because nobody else in my family is musical, so I don't know, picked it up.
Got it. And is there a favorite musician you have or music band?
I was like a huge Motorhead fan and stuff, so I'd say like kind of somebody like Lemmy was probably one of like my hero kind of growing up kind of thing.
Well,
so
he just died.
I think it's going to be
cancer.
It's going to be like 10 years coming up actually. So
okay, so you're into that metal stuff.
Yeah, kind of metal and punk rock and stuff like that. I listen to anything. So yeah.
Even like
no jazz. Sorry.
No jazz. Okay.
Sorry to your wife.
All right. And what's the plan for OG in the future? The next, like everyone, like even my law firm, we have a 5-year plan. Okay, everyone's got to have a 1-year plan and a 5-year plan. I don't think you look beyond 5 years.
We do that. We haven't really looked beyond 5. Really, just things are coming pretty fast and furious right now. We're hiring some more people to really be able to allow us to focus on new part development. That's our really big focus this year. The race team usually takes up quite a bit of an effort, so we're going to scale back the race team a little bit this year. We're going to go defend our belt at Mossport, but we're going to really focus on new product development and just supporting our dealer network, getting some more dealers and just developing new product that people want. So
you work with Kelowna Harley, and I know Colby because he used to be the sales manager here in Calgary, and actually his best friend is one of my cousins.
Okay.
Corey Schuchner. I don't know if you met him.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so sort of Colby and our family, sort of a little bit.
Nice.
And then what's another big dealer you work with out in the Western Canada?
Well, basically we work with most of the Harley dealers in Canada, and then a lot of the independent shops. Like Elevate that's here right now.
They're here in Calgary.
They're one of our dealers. So the thing that's great about OG is it is a Canadian company.
Yeah.
So when we ship, we're shipping from Canada. Customers and dealers are paying in Canadian dollars. Our dollar is getting absolutely hammered right now.
Oh yeah.
So we have a pretty big advantage right now over a U.S. company, even before the tariffs came in, because when you're having to buy a U.S. product with Canadian dollars, it's painful.
Oh yeah.
And it's only going to get more painful in the short term, I think. So I don't see things changing. So,
Okay. And like obviously, I mean, you're a Harley rider, heart and soul, pretty much.
Yep.
And I always I like all motorcycles. I got Ducatis, I got a Harley, I got a Triumph.
Yep.
I even put a deposit this year on a CF Moto.
Okay.
Because I just want to check it out for
Okay,
$10,000,
okay.
like their little adventure bike.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
see these Chinese manufacturers, what they can do. Where do you see Harley going? Because they always talk about, well, are they changing with the millennial generation? And the prices do tend to go up every year.
Well, I know they're trying to bring the prices down. That's
Yeah.
why they're kind of streamlined some of the platforms together. Like they just changed a bunch of stuff on the new Softails.
Yeah.
As far as the hand controls and wiring harnesses and stuff to match what's on the touring bikes.
Yeah.
So that you can keep costs down that way. One thing Harley's doing that's great right now is they do have like the products they're bringing out. I think are exciting.
Yeah.
They're listening to people. They are working with a lot of influencers and stuff that have the ear of the generation that we should be targeting. You know, OG has really a target, audience.
Yeah.
And that's probably right now. I think the younger generation would rather play video games than actually get on a motorcycle and experience that kind of freedom, which is unfortunate. But hopefully that will change.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like what Harley's doing right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I like some of the stuff they're coming out with.
Well,
they're pushing their performance envelope and getting more into that, and I think that only helps.
Well, they have like the CVO Roguelite ST, and our firm bought one. We donated the black one to Fresh Start here in Calgary.
Nice.
But I noticed the price went up compared to last year on the CVO STs.
And that's probably Canadian dollar related,
really?
to be honest with you.
Yeah, okay.
Because they have to make adjustments for that. So I mean, the CVO ST this year as opposed to 24 is really the same bike, just different colors.
Yeah,
and
they
stuff,
have
right?
red,
So,
they have gray, and they have like a plaid color, like red, black.
Yeah.
And then what do you think of the Pan America?
I love Pan Ams.
Yeah.
I have a friend that bought a brand new one in Kelowna, and he's got like 8 bikes, and he just wasn't getting the miles on it, so he asked me to break it in for him. So
Okay.
I took it, I tried doing single track with it. It wasn't great for that because it's just too heavy.
Yeah.
But, logging roads, it was great. And then it actually, where they really excel is actually just on the street. They are in the corners. Great, 150 horse, so they can pull away on on a lot of bikes, and they're very nimble. So I'm a huge Pan Am fan.
So do you you've ridden a Pan Am, and I've looked at it, and I've got like a KTM 2011 990 Adventure. I can't sell it because it's just a perfect, mid-size engine bike. I can trail it. I can put it on the highway. Do you think the Pan America is a true adventure bike or more of a touring adventure bike?
More of a touring adventure bike, I would say.
Thought too,
I think you got to be. Do you see these guys, going off and doing, sand dune videos and these off-road videos with them?
Yeah.
And I think you got to be a pretty expert rider with really good skills to really get the most out of that bike because of how heavy it is.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an expert off-road rider because absolutely not the case.
Yeah.
So I'm actually interested to try out the new Pan Am ST.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. So what do you think of that bike?
So the concept is awesome because I think if I bought a Pan Am, that's probably what I would do to it, put street tires on it, and I like that it's a little bit lower, but
It's quite a bit lower.
it is-
I'm not a tall guy.
it is quite a bit
I
lower.
get both feet down on it, yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, I sat on it yesterday and I'm flat-footed. I would have liked to maybe see the front end a little taller.
Yeah.
But I'd like to ride it and just see what it's all about. So
they did a 17 on the front, 17-inch wing.
17 front and rear.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm sort of looking at that one because I like those supermoto bikes. Like I've got also a Pikes Peak at home, the Ducati Pikes Peak Multistrada. I don't know if you're familiar with that bike.
Yeah.
So I was looking at that and I was talking to Solomon over here, and then probably do some changes to it. Do you guys have accessories for the Pan Am?
we do. We actually. So Ryan from Odin Manufacturing.
Yeah, I know him.
He's got a Pan Am, and
Is that nice silver one over there?
the one that Trip 6 painted with the flames on it and stuff. That's a beautiful bike. And he wanted. So first of all, we make foot pegs for that bike, like a moto style foot peg.
Yeah.
And then he wanted taller risers on that bike, and nobody made it some. So we had him ship us his stock stuff, tree and everything, and we custom designed risers. So we have 2 Pan Am risers now. We have a 7.5 and a 9.5.
Yeah.
So just to bring the bar up a little bit
Yeah.
and must put you in a better hand position. So
Okay. So if you want to make that, like I grew up on sport bikes and I love naked bikes. And if I was going to buy that bike, and I want to make it in like a hooligan supermoto kind of bike, what would you do with that thing?
The Pan Am?
The Pan Am ST.
The ST.
To make it a very unique looking bike, or accessorize it.
I'd have to spend some more time looking at it.
Yeah.
I know
maybe I should buy one, ride it out, and then you can tear it apart for me.
Absolutely. I'd love to do that.
Okay.
I know it doesn't come with a steering damper, and the other one does. So that'd be the first thing I'd do, would put the steering damper on there, and then I'd get that heavy stock exhaust off there for sure, and put something lighter like a stainless exhaust on there, or titanium or something, just to lighten it up and open it up a little bit.
Is there a good pipe out there you recommend for that Pan Am?
There's a few different companies making pipes for them. So
I know SC Concept. You ever heard of them out of Italy?
Yeah.
They sold out of their exhaust this year. I checked on the website.
Okay.
Akrapovic, would that be a good pipe for that, or no?
Well, they make a great pipe, but I'm not sure they do one for that bike. I know, like in the traditional V-twin market, I know Vance and Hines does a pipe for that bike. I know Bassani does a pipe for that bike. Oh, Jekyll and Hyde does one.
So that pipe is way too heavy for it, eh?
Well, all the Harley exhaust is extremely heavy, so that's the first thing I took off my CBO. It's a black chrome dual exhaust, and the thing like must have weighed 100 pounds. So, and I put a stainless 2-in-1 Bassani on there. And definitely lighten the bike up.
So if anyone bought a Harley, probably the first thing to go off would be the factory exhaust, eh?
Probably the exhaust. Handlebars are definitely the next thing. Suspension is huge. Because the stock suspension is usually not a focus for Harley. On the STs and stuff, like the CBO STs, they've got better suspension on there, but it's not like something that they're putting fantastic suspension on a stock Harley. And a seat usually too. So just getting that rider triangle fit for yourself. And that's where we specialize on our triple trees and our risers and handlebars. We can make the bike fit you perfectly, basically.
Okay. And then obviously you've been riding your whole life. Is there a dream bike you have, or you're happy with your road glides you have?
I think I'm pretty happy with the Road Glide. I've also got a 1990 FXR that I just built. So that's my kind of in-town, just bombing around bike, and it's super fun. I just, Roger Goldhammer out of Kelowna just did the motor in that bike. Like, I kept it in Evo because I wanted to kind of keep it original, but he went right crank up build on it. So haven't even ridden it yet since I picked it up. So I'm stoked for the spring to arrive so I can ride that thing.
And our law firm, unfortunately, we represent a lot of people who are injured in motorcycle accidents. Not their fault, but I'm always looking at I'm like in my 50s now, getting older, and how bringing the new generation of riders into the sport. How would you, market that? Is there any ideas you guys have? Or?
Well, stuff like what the Vanishing Ones is doing, and Delacrue, and companies like that are kind of making it exciting for that younger generation, like Delacrue, like empowering like the girls to ride. Like the female riding segment for Harley is a huge expanding segment right now. And we love that segment. The girls are doing super cool things with their bikes. They're getting out and they're riding all the places that the guys are riding. And you go to rallies now, and there's a lot of like females there with their road glides or STs or whatever that are custom painted, all customized and stuff, and it's really cool to see.
Okay, and any advice to a young person out there getting into the sport at all? Like, what would you advise them?
Probably start on a dirt bike and go out and just ride the trails and get comfortable using a clutch and shifting. And if you're on a dirt bike and you fall down, it's a lot less painful to do it there and kind of learn. If you learn in the dirt, it's going to make you a way better street rider.
Okay, so get in the dirt first.
Get in the dirt first. I think
we all learned on the dirt. I did too. Okay, cool. So obviously, we have a good conversation going on bikes, and I'm a big sports fan. I don't know if you figured that out yet.
Yeah, I figured it out.
So obviously, you got the Super Bowl coming up, and we got Kansas City mini helmet. They're both signed. This is signed by Travis Kelce.
Oh, nice.
And then this is signed by Jalen Hurts, a quarterback for Philly.
Yep.
So you told me earlier when we started, you follow some sports.
I do.
What do you like for the Super Bowl?
Well, just to quantify things, I'm a long-suffering Raiders fan, long-suffering.
80s play. 70s and 80s too.
the last 5 years has just been
terrible.
Just pain and more pain. So I could not in good conscience ever cheer for the Kansas City Chiefs. Plus, I'm kind of like, they're a great team, but I'm just kind of sick of seeing Taylor Swift, and I'm sick of Patrick and Brittany Mahomes and all that stuff. I'm just sick of it. So I'm 100% down with the Eagles.
Okay.
And I like Jalen Hurts. I like the Eagles. I like their style of offense. I like their defense. And I think they have a really good chance to beat Kansas City.
Yeah.
The only problem is Kansas City just somehow managed to pull something out of their butt, and it just, they win all these close games, and it's, I know there's conspiracy theories and stuff. I don't really believe that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of more of an NFL purist.
Yeah.
And the better team 9 times out of 10 usually wins.
Yeah.
It doesn't come down to one missed call or something.
Yeah.
It probably came down to not executing on your end. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel for you because I'm a Cowboys fan.
Okay.
So they hired Brian Schottenheimer. I've given up on the Cowboys. Forget about it.
When I was driving out here, I was listening to ESPN radio, and that they had just hired him, and they were just going off on Jerry Jones this guy doesn't want to win. He just wants to sell tours of the stadium or something, So.
They should have hired Deion Sanders maybe. He would have been a good, but the ego of Deion against Jerry, I don't think it would have worked out. It'd be like Jimmy Johnson and Jerry all over again.
I think so.
But what do you think of the changes the Raiders? They got Tom Brady as a minority owner now, supposedly.
Well, I actually really like the Pete Carroll hire because he's going to bring stability, and he's a smart football coach.
Yeah.
I liked AP, our last coach. He was a raw guy, but he made a lot of mistakes on the coaching, on the sidelines,
Yeah.
So, and I like the GM they brought in from Tampa. The guy's got a winning record everywhere he's been. So I have hope. We still don't have a quarterback, but who knows?
Well,
maybe Brady will come out of retirement and toss the biscuit around.
But wouldn't Brady bring some discipline in that team and some winning ethics?
I think he brings some credit, for sure.
So are you a fan of the Raiders going back to Oakland or LA or just Vegas?
Well, LA, I cheered for them when I was a little kid. They were Oakland, then they went to LA, then they went back to Oakland. I've been a fan for the whole ride.
Yeah.
The whole ride.
So you think they'll actually stay in Vegas? Probably.
Oh yeah. There's too much money being made there, and that stadium is crazy. I haven't been inside it yet, but I've been outside it.
Yeah.
I used to go to games at the LA Coliseum when they played there, and that was
USC,
that was a gong show. USC Stadium.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty rough around the edges back there, but we had Bo Jackson and stuff back then. So
Howie Long and stuff like. Then Bo blew out his hip on that Cincinnati game.
Yeah.
But hey, I was at the Super Bowl last year. I was lucky enough to have my SEO company, our website designer and SEO company, fly me down.
Nice.
So I sat in Allegiant Stadium. It's a nice stadium. It's nothing compared to the Cowboys where the Cowboys play, but the Cowboys aren't winning anything. So, but it's kind of cool. If you ever go to the Raiders game, I would stay at the Mandalay Bay because there's a tunnel that takes you right to the Raiders Stadium.
I like Mandalay Bay. It's my favorite hotel down there.
Yeah, so, okay. Well, hopefully, I'm going for Kansas City because I can't go against Pat Mahomes. I'm sorry, okay?
Well, it sounds like we might have to put a little bit of money on there.
What do you want, $10?
Let's do it.
$10, okay.
$10.
All right.
Go Birds.
All right. Well, and then obviously I'm looking at the Panamera ST. Maybe I should buy it and ride it out there in the spring, and you guys can rip it apart and redo it for me, eh?
Absolutely.
Suspension and all that stuff, pipes and all that stuff?
Yeah, we can figure that out for you.
Well, I really appreciate you being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to always meet and, talk to someone that knows motorcycles.
Right on.
And, obviously Kobe's a good mutual friend of ours.
Yep.
And he's such a cool guy to hang out with, and he's a really down-to-earth person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I got to do a shout-out to Kelowna, Harley, and Kobe for setting up this podcast, and I wish you all the best, and hopefully the Calgary show turns out being perfect for your OG.
It's been great for us, so we appreciate it, and we appreciate you having me on here.
And that was the easiest money ever made is at $10, okay? Or are we doing U.S. or Canadian dollars?
Ooh, that's a tough one. You pay me in U.S. and I'll pay you in Canadian.
All right, that's the deal.
All right.
And then thanks for being on the show. We got this little gift basket.
Why, thank you. I get like a little mini Winston.
Yeah, baby Winston.
That
and you get a
awesome.
$25 gift card to Mary Brown's.
Okay, awesome.
Do they have Mary Brown's in Kelowna?
We do have a Mary Brown's.
Can you pass me the cap? And I know you like caps, and so I'll give you a Bulldog Brewhouse podcast cap to wear. Okay?
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I look forward to seeing you out in Kelowna. We sponsor the celebrity ride. You know, when the SOA came out, we'll be there again this year. Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try and be there for that one if my schedule permits.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good luck with your Raiders.
Okay.
They need all the help, like the Cowboys.
Yeah. We're going to need some luck. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Take care. And again, thanks for tuning in to the Bulldog Brewhouse podcast. Rob was a great guest, and if you need any parts, just call Rob at OG, and they'll definitely help you out in your Harley. Take care. Bye-bye.